Today in the bunker, we're going to make floor tiles for the Underhive. Recently I was watching Narb Makes, which is a fantastic channel, and he started using some foam and using techniques that are common in the cosplay world, which I wasn't familiar with. So on his suggestion I went and watched a few videos and discovered that the floor mats from Harbor Freight or any similar neoprene rubber floor mats will work, but they should be excellent to make tiles. In this case, I'm going to mount my 3D printed floor tiles for Necromunda, the Underhive, to those foam tiles using construction cement. So let's take a look at how we did that. These tiles are made from neoprene rubber. They're 25 by 25, so you can cut them down to 2 foot by 2 foot easily, or in my case, I cut them down into 4 12-inch squares. And you end up with some interlocking edge pieces. That's fine. When we glue the floor tiles to it, that will secure it in place. So the biggest thing is to try and accurately measure. This neoprene rubber cuts. I used a a craft knife, an Olfa. It cuts like a dream. It doesn't snag, it doesn't drag or anything. It just cuts. Just make a couple of easy, slow cuts through there, and you'll go right through it. I got a little off on my measurements because that's just how I measure things, but I used just a Sharpie to measure it, or to draw the lines. And then when you get that done, I measured out using the printed tiles. I laid them on there. I figured out where the center was and used that to orient how I laid them out. And you just put them on there, make sure they fit. If they overlap the sides a little bit, that's not a problem. If they don't come quite to the edge, that's not a problem either. Once you glue them in place, you can go back and cut a bevel underneath that and trim that up so it'll butt up against the next board. So I think the 1 foot by 1 foot is probably about the best compromise for size and rigidity. You could do a 2 foot by 2 foot, but they become a little bit floppy. So if it works for you, if you don't have to transport them much, it might be a better option. Or if you wanted to make a permanent tile with things affixed to it. These are expected to travel, so I'm not going to be gluing anything to the tiles themselves. And these are pre-painted. I just did put a quickie paint job on them. You could paint them after you mount them on the neoprene. That's not a problem. Just mask that off so you don't paint the neoprene probably, but it might not even hurt it. I don't know. So what I did was measured off where that first tile is going to go, and that is to make that kind of orient everybody else correctly as we put them on. I did them with the textured side down because I figured that the contact cement would probably affix better to this. You could probably do it the other way, but this is how I'm doing it. For cement, I'm using this Weldwood Contact Cement. It works about the same as barge cement, and it's way easier to find. It's also way cheaper. So you can find this in any of the DIY hardware type places. It doesn't take a whole lot. If you've never worked with this stuff before, you put it on both surfaces that you want to join and let it set up. It says 15 minutes to 2 hours. Once it starts to get kind of glossy, you can slap it together and it'll stay. It'll be fine. So you don't have to wait all that long. Although if you do wait 15 minutes, that's not a bad thing. It gives you a good working time to, you could lay out an entire tile and then lay out all of these. Once they set up, just very carefully put them together. So what we're going to do is take some of our cement, and it comes with a brush. One of the things I picked up on the cosplay channels was that they'll take this and put it inside of a squeeze bottle so that that doesn't happen. That's pretty cool. All right, minor emergency, let me fix that. All right, let's try that again. Okay, so this stuff comes with, it's got a brush inside of it, and what I did was actually, use some of the contact cement to glue the brush in place, so hopefully it'll stay. But you just take it, and I just put some dabs down. Don't do dabs, or do if you want, and just kind of spread that out. You just need a thin layer. Make sure that brush doesn't come out. It doesn't need to be super thick. It just needs to have a nice even coat in the spots you want it to join. I try to do a good seam along the edges. Not right up next to the line, although you could. But I'm trying not to slop over, so staying just inside. All right, and now we will carefully do the same to the 3D printed tile, and you could do this with any tile, 3D printed. You could use a factory made one. You could do this with chipboard if you made some chipboard tiles. They would affix nicely. Basically anything you want to adhere to this neoprene, you just smear it with some of this, let it set up, put it together, and it's going to stay together. All right, so we're going to let that set up for a few minutes. It is kind of stringy, it is sticky, you will get it on your hands. Probably gloves would be a good idea. I just don't have the gumption to go get a set right now. So we're going to let that set up, and then we will very carefully put it together. I should also note that this stuff gives off some fumes, so be sure to wear respiration, have ventilation, all that good stuff. It's best to do this outside. I just wanted to do this one in here so you could see it. I will probably do the rest of these outside because that was a lot better health-wise. All right, so we've let that set up until it gets kind of glossy, and we will take this. Another reason not to go directly to the line is so you can kind of lay this on the edge of the line and be able to move it, because if this glue is properly set up, once you slap it in place, it is not moving again. All right, and then just give it a nice press. See how we got that in there. Okay, and that does not, well, you could peel it off, but it would probably destroy part of it. So once it's on there, it's on there. Here's one that I did previously just to test out this theory. It's got some flexibility, which is good in my opinion, because the seams where that is. This was bent slightly. You can just take it and just kind of bow it in the middle and it will lay flat. The other nice thing about these tiles is that if you don't lay them in something that's all gritty and sandy, they will protect your painted surfaces that you lay on top of other tiles. Set those on there, it'll keep them from getting all scratched up. So don't lay these on the ground. Keep them on tables or whatever, and then you'll be doing good. All right guys, so that's how I'm building my floor tiles for the Underhive. You could do this for a number of things. I'm going to continue to experiment. I'll get some more of these tiles. We're going to make some with roadways and whatnot, so that'll be a future video. But hopefully this was helpful. This is dead cheap. 4 of these tiles was like $8, and it'll cover like 16, 17 square feet. So if you want to make a 4x4 table, you just need 1 pack, you're done. And then make your tiles to affix to the top and you're golden. So hopefully that helps. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you like this kind of content, be sure to like and subscribe, and have a fantastic day.